Look at that incredible view, guys. Welcome to the History Hunter. History Hunter here.
Eagle Eyes, hello.
We are on the Great World War II Challenge Tour, and boy oh boy, today we are gonna be challenged. Why are we here? We are looking for a crash site where one of these warboats came down. Somewhere in the mountainside, the Handley Page Halifax crashed. And this is a very iconic bomber, been used for so many different purposes during the war. How many crews did it have, Eagle Eyes?
7.
And it had a extremely wide wingspan of
31.75 meters.
Yeah, and they had 4 Bristol Hercules 14-cylinder air-cooled engines, 1615 horsepower each, and that could give a max speed of
454 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, it had 8 machine guns, 303s, and it could carry 5,900 kilos of bomb. But on this mission, it was not about bombs, it was about what was inside the aircraft. And we are here to see if we can find exactly where that aircraft came down. Some friends just dropping by. Yeah, bear.
Then
They're not here to hurt you. Do your stuff, eat some grass. There are some spectacular views here, guys. The aircraft that we're looking for crashed right into a mountainside and then kind of spread the parts in the mountain plateau, but also into a tiny little lake. So we know exactly where the lake is. Now it's just about finding exactly where the aircraft hit, because the mountainside is pretty big. This is basically what the whole area here looks like. Mountain up a mountain and lakes everywhere. So it's a challenge to find the exactly right location. But the lake looks pretty much like this. And then you have the mountainside and everything smashed into that. But it is incredible. And there's one single little tree standing on the ridge there. That looks absolutely stunning. I should have had a zoom lens and take a photo of that with the sky behind it, because that looks really, really nice. You think this is it, Eagle Eyes?
I think it is.
Yeah, you can see there's supposed to be one mountainside like here, then a little bit grass, and then boom, this huge mountainside over there. So we're hoping that this could be the right one. There are 4 lakes, so maybe this is the one that we go to, because we are using old German crash site reports. They came here, they heard about what happened, and they want to investigate, and that is why we have the coordinates, at least vaguely, of where it is. Okay guys, we are getting closer and closer. We think that is the mountain ridge, and this huge mountain side, the cliff there, could be the impact site. So we have to go a bit around here. There's mog, there's bog, it's just difficult to walk here. And then again, as I said, the very deep grass doesn't make it easier, so we have to tread very, very careful, and we are going to do that. And now let's see if we can get a bit closer to this mountainside. Oh my goodness, there are so many flies here, but one of the most dangerous things are these bogs here. These, you can step in there and you think it's going to be okay, and then suddenly you just sink down 40-50 centimeters, and when you get stuck, it's like a suction kind of thing going on, because you cannot get out from it again. It's almost impossible. So the more you kind of fight against it, the more it will drag you down, so we're going to be very, very careful. All right, we're going to continue up there. That, my friend, is a German World War II S-mine display, and we create and give them away to our patron team members. This is a German Soldatenheim little shadow box. This is a 9mm munition box. Everything here is original. These are artifacts from the Second World War, and we give them away to our patron team members. If you want to check out how to become a patron team member, there's a link here in the video description where it says more. Just click that, then you click the link for the patron, and then you'll see how you can become a patron team member, and you will in the end up with something absolutely spectacular, some small artifacts from the Second World War, and we will share history in a very special way together. That is the mountain that the Halifax crashed into. Boy oh boy, that looks intimidating, to be honest. So all we have to do now is to get a bit further to the left, and we're going to actually see if there are any pieces laying about. It would be very cool if there is. There it is. But do you think it's here, Eagle Eyes?
Yes, it's here. It's right here.
That is where the aircraft hit the wall, the rock face, and there are actually even traces of the impact right here. I'm going to show you that, but all we have to do now is to actually see if there could be any pieces laying about, so we can actually prove to you that we are standing right here where one of these British RAF bombers crashed into a mountainside. So now we're just gonna look around and see if there could be any pieces. The lake is just behind us, so we're gonna go down there as well and check that out. You see here, there are a couple of huge boulders, 3-4 of them. And imagine this aircraft coming in like that, several hundred kilometers per hour. I think it could very easily have cheered off some of these huge rocks that are just kind of laying there now. We can definitely see they've been moved. So I think maybe one of the engines just hit that straight on. 4 engines. It was a wide aircraft, so we've seen 4 or 5 of these kind of huge rocks, and it could very well be that they came down because of the crash hitting them straight on. Alright guys, we finally made it, and we think that this matches best the area where the aircraft could have crashed. We're not 100% sure. This is a huge aircraft, but there's not much laying about. We haven't seen one single piece yet. So this, we think, is the crash site. Maybe even that boulder came down due to that. Eli's found actual pieces right here, guys. See here, you got one here. That is like red paint. Is that the same paint that is on that rock, Eagle Eyes?
Yeah, it looks like.
What is that? But look here, guys. There's a piece just laying there. We definitely found the right spot, and we definitely know that there's going to be more here. See, Eagle Eye, see here. That is. No, I thought that was melted aluminium, but see here. There. Eagle Eyes, pick up that piece there. See what that is?
Melted.
That is melted aluminium. That is from the aircraft. That means it came down right here and it started to burn. And I'm guessing, why is there like pebble rocks here, and then this was everything here kind of burnt completely and nothing grows anymore? Wow, we found it, Eagle Eyes. We really found it. That's amazing. So where was it, Eagle Eyes?
Right there.
How could you see that? That, for me, looks like a rock. What is that? Ooh, that is a button thing.
Oh.
That looks like a push button.
What's this?
That is also aluminium. No. But this piece here is definitely
I
aluminium.
think this also is because it's so lightweight.
Is this from a cartridge? No. It's kind of like a button. Very interesting. That's a tiny little piece and it was just right there. There's no trash here, guys. This is just pieces from the aircraft itself. Just laying about like that. Look here, guys. Couple of more pieces. Just laying about. Definitely the right place. Just imagine, guys, once upon a time, this was the proud RAF aircraft, and the crews were proud to serve and do their duty. Go out on sorties to take the Germans out. Now all we find are these small pieces here. Seems like there are this. I cannot get what is, but you see here, there's a tiny little iron piece here. Some kind of adjuster or something. It's just a matter of really looking good between all the rocks, and suddenly there are pieces of the site, the crash itself, right there.
I found some cables here.
Wow, actually cables. That's leftover of the aircraft, cable pieces. And you can see here as well, small fragments of aluminium. But we just spotted something much bigger. So you're gonna see that. But these are the smaller fragments of what is here. And you can basically see iron, aluminium, a lot of it burnt and really bad condition. That is a cast aluminium piece, really corroded. So it's everywhere here. But these are, as I said, just the smaller pieces. Let's see if we can show you some bigger pieces. We just saw this here. That is a huge casted piece that might have caught on fire or something. You see that? And you can see then a thin piece. That is a huge aluminium, chunk of aluminium, really corroded. See that? Tiny piece of glass. Looks like very high quality glass. Kind of reflects with the rainbow colors when you kind of twist it like this. Interesting. See here, guys? Bigger pieces laying about. Now we have really found the exact spot here. This red kind of surface coating here keeps it from corroding. And there's a very interesting piece just behind me. I'll show you that, but that is definitely the aircraft piece, huh? Wow. But let's check out the little detail behind me here. That is incredible, guys. I think this is one of, oh, that is insanely heavy. That is one of the coolers. That is cooling oil, perhaps. Let's see.
That's big.
It is completely smashed, guys. But you can see each and every one of these are thin kind of layers where liquid could go past through. And this is where the air would pass through it. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely that. And that is insanely heavy. I think this could be brass. I'm not sure. It's not lead. But this thing, let me feel, is insanely heavy. But that is one of the coolers for the engines, we think. But let us take you down to the waterline of the lake here. And let's see what is here, because there are a ton of pieces here. Before we left, a lot of you helped us out with some fantastic donations on the Super Thanks feature, and I promised I will take you, each and every one of you out here, and I will make you historical, because you can now see where you are for yourself. And each and every one of you were so kind to let me and Eagle Eyes go out and find and share incredible history with you. So you are now historical, guys. Thank you for being in there, for letting us take you to this fantastic place. But not only that,
We also have some PayPal donations that came in to help us out on the Great Challenge Tour.
Yep.
So thank you so much for donating and helping us out.
yeah, absolutely. Each and every one of you here gave some very generous donations on the PayPal feature, and
trying to blow away here. But we want to say to you also, thank you so very much for your very, very kind support. And every time you see this video, you can see that you took part in that in a very special way. And for that, we thank you so very much. Wow, this is like kind of support leg. You can see the joint here. And then if you turn around, let's see it from the other side. Yeah. That is all the way down here at the lake. Turn around. Yeah, this must have been some kind of support for something. Very thin, lightweight aluminium, but the structure with all the brackets and all of that makes it very, very strong. This is all the way down at the lake, guys. See here, there are hundreds, if not thousands of pieces laying about. Can you see that? It is absolutely incredible. This used to be a RAF, active RAF aircraft, and it did tons of sorties. It flew out there to do different tasks, and there's just a ton of pieces laying about here, showing what the fate of that crew was. And you can see here even rubber. This is most likely from the, I don't know, maybe the tires, the hoses inside the tires. That is actually very, very soft, you guys. Feel that. Feel that.
That's very soft.
So that is probably very high quality of rubber, but it's insane to see all of this here. And we do believe we see a huge structure in the water, so we're going to check that out. But in a way, very sad to see this just laying about like this. So many different pieces here. See here, this is like, what is that? Something that maybe had wires inside and it started to burn. And this piece here, see, it's very defined with a ton of holes. Got a thing here, a little pipe. Interesting, really interesting to see the variety. And you can see some of the parts has huge brackets, and again there's a massive pile of parts right here. So this is most definitely the main impact site. Maybe even they just tossed it into the lake and maybe people are pulling it up again. And here you can see what I said about lightweight but very strong pieces. You can see this thing here has been hollowed out, but you have the angle on the sides, makes it very, very strong. Also very, very lightweight. See this beam here? An aircraft is a very complex structure when it's built. You know, it's got so many profiles, so many different materials connected to each other. There could even be wood amongst the aluminium, and the British were very known for using a lot of woods in the aircraft. Sometimes the only thing that kept the flight or aircraft going was actually some sheets of fabric on the wings. It wasn't even aluminium on the wings, it was just sheets of fabric coated, and then poof, they took off with that. So very nice to see all these complex high-tech structures. Well, they're not exactly high-tech, but you know, to make or create a aircraft you need to do a lot of special work, and also tons and thousands of rivets holding it together. Very lightweight, but also very strong. So what are we doing, guys?
Well, so we wanted some of you guys to have a little memory of this place. So we brought 3 Halifax with us to share with you guys.
Yeah, we bought 3 of these models, and we're going to take some photos of them and we're going to give them to you. And now you will have a very special piece of the history from this place, because you can see the model was right here where the crash site is, and we want you to be the future keeper of that, because you support us, we do the research, we travel, we go out and really do work to find these places, so we have to give back to you. So 3 of you will be a lucky future keeper of something rather unique. More of the rubber, and I am surprised to feel how soft this rubber is. So many years later, that is very impressive when you think what typical rubber will do. It will kind of just disintegrate after a few years, but this is very flexible and wow. Again, very complex little piece. See here, there are so many different corners and radiuses and pieces put together in so many ways just to make it lightweight and strong. And you can see you have this thing here, there's like a rod going out there, there's another rod being attached there with a heme joint, and this thing here is amazingly complex built. See all of this, so many different plates, and there's a tube going by, rivet, joints, tubes. Wow, impressive work. This piece here is most likely a outer piece. Maybe this is even from a window or something. Look at how nice the aluminium is here. See that? It's got some kind of coating. Is that hard anodizing or something? Leave a comment if you think it is. Yeah, this definitely looks like an outer piece. Could be on the engine, perhaps, maybe. But see, all the rivets are flush. And also here you can see all the rivets are flush, meaning this is an outer panel on the outside of the aircraft. Wow. I do love to see the pieces like that in mint condition. That is fascinating, guys. I think this is actually a piece of the tire from the aircraft. See that? I think it could actually be a piece of the tire, and it's still here. There's another section here at the lake that has tons of pieces laying around. I wonder what else could be down into the lake here. Maybe that will be something we could do later. Do a little dive here. But so many pieces down here. It's like everywhere I can see. I wonder if they initially just said dump it into the lake, and then it's slowly being taken out by people who may be collecting pieces for metal or all of that. They did that a lot in the 50s and 60s and 70s and even the 80s, and then people got a little bit more, got a little bit more knowledge of what happened, and then it's kind of it's good to see that it's here, so you can actually go and experience this and then learn from history. Yes, we did learn quite a lot by that visit there. Let me tell you a little bit more about what exactly is going to happen later. But first, if you want to help us out to reach more locations like this and share great World War II history, genuine, real stuff, we do the research travel, go out and find and share these moments. We do not copy paste others. We do all this by ourselves for you to take part in and enjoy. Also, you can be a future keeper of something really special. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that after I'm telling you how you can help us out. And we have two features. You can help us out on the Super Thanks feature here. Basically, your opportunity to just let us have some fuel into the gas tank of the camper van. Go out and find and share even more great history. And if that isn't enough, you can help us out maybe with a PayPal donation. You'll find a link here where it says more. Just click that, and then you find a link for the PayPal thing. And that is how you can help us to reach more locations. And how can you become a future keeper of maybe one of the models that was actually there at the crash site? Well, you can help us out by a donation, or you can join and become a Patreon team member, as you saw, and you can take part in the monthly draw of some beautiful World War II artifacts that we actually find out there, and we pass them on to you. We don't keep anything. We let you be the future keeper of something very special. And for those who will be the lucky keepers of some of these, or one of the three models, there will be some additional pieces following this, making it very, very desirable. And I can promise you will definitely enjoy that, and I will share that later. There is something else that is going on in that crash site or that area. We spoke to a local farmer there, and he told us something that I was totally blown away to hear. But that will be another story that we are actually going to see if we can find out more about, because it's about a very, very special piece of the aircraft. And well, I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to reveal the whole secret there. Other than that, I have a lot of different projects going on. We are on the hunt for a anti-tank Pak 40 gun. That is something absolutely unique, a very special story. We are diving deep into something that's got something to do about this book here and a very special story. And also we are looking for a very elusive Spitfire. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. So as you can see, we have a lot of projects. Help us out, support us. You can watch our videos in full, you can comment, you can leave a heart, you can share our material on Facebook, whatever, or you can help us out with some donations that actually gets us out there to share with all of you kind people. All right, I have to stop now because we're going to continue with some more stuff here in the background. And in the meantime, just please everybody stay safe, keep smiling. And before you know it, we will be out there sharing even more great history. All right, stay safe and bye-bye.